lined up here, buddy.
It's gonna get sweaty. We got Legion, not to be confused with Lenovo Legion. Legion, the personality, the guy out there, of course, he is a beautiful, beautiful man. Of course, I believe he's Courage's dad, from what I remember at least.
It's true. That sounds about right to me.
Commentating with them, but he's playing with Bartonologist. Of course, they are going against Punisher and Unicorn from World's Best Gaming. Of course, that's going to be a good one. I'm excited to see what's going down. Let me know in the chat, who do you think is going to take it? You think Legion Bartonologist could take it over Punisher and Unicorn? Let's find out. Of course, Shifty Shafts is where we're at. And it's going to be a good time. So we have Shifty and we have Retail. As we see Legion on the Retail drop. That's always a drop, at least for me, that's so chaotic and difficult for me to take over. Now, of course, granted, take that with a grain of salt, Landon, because that's not saying much. But I'm curious to see how that's going to turn out for him if there's anybody that's going to be home. Usually it's a hot drop.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised we aren't seeing too much action there, but it's fair to say, right? I don't know if Legion's playing on Xbox, PS4, or maybe even on his Nintendo Switch. That seems to be where he dominates the scene, according to what he used to tell us. But regardless, though, he's going to be relying pretty heavily on Bartonologist. I think Legion can hold his own, but it's going to be very difficult to take down what is obviously two pro players. I believe Punisher previously of World's Best Gaming playing with current WBG player and Unicorn. And looks like they're going to kind of hide around that cozy campfire to try to at least try to survive the initial portion of what has been a very quick little fight inside of Shifty Shafts. But, yeah, man, I feel like Shifty Shafts, at least throughout Friday Fortnite, became more of a trend. And that also kind of turned out to be for the public space as well. It seemed as if a lot of players went Shifty Shafts. No one was really there. Then over time, it started to kind of transition into a very, very big hot drop for the rest of the community.
I think it was kind of one of my favorite places to land, at least, because, like I said, the rotations from that is, well, my utmost favorite place to land is Valhalla or Viking ship. But I'm looking at this gunfight ensue, and Legion is pelting some damage at the player up ahead. Of course, Bartonologist is going to get the knock plus the full elim, so that's one in their inventory so far to kind of take the lead. And Legion with the head rock, you know he's pumped up.
Oh, my gosh.
Got the pink Astros on. He's feeling good, of course.
Shout out to the pink wall, by the way.
Absolutely. The pink wall. That was something that he always mentioned every single time he came on here.
Absolutely, man. I would love to be a member of the pink wall. That'd be great. That'd be fantastic.
We can make it happen.
Oh, I would love to see it. I would love to be a part of the pink wall. If Legion, if you ever listen to this, which I'm sure you probably do as you're entering in from outside of the anti-gravity zone, I would love to be a part of the pink wall. But just as I start to say that, it looks like a random explosion just from the side, maybe even a grenade potentially coming through, but it looks like it's now going to be up to Bartonologist to go big here in Retail Row. It didn't seem like a hot drop off the beginning, but it is definitely turning into a massive POI right now.
Like I said, it's always chaotic whenever you come to Retail Row, and the reason being is you have that retail side and residential, and you never know what you're going to run into, as the case here with the Splode on Legion now, as he has to helplessly watch Bartonologist try and get this. But you do see he does get a knock. Not the full elim as of yet, and because that's a knock, you know there's at least one or two more lurking around there. And, of course, this is the team coming back for vengeance as they got the full elim on another player. Shots are firing around like crazy as he goes to regain the high ground once again. And I'm kind of curious to see how this story's going to unfold. Of course, the call-out coming out is the no-skin's going to be coming up behind him, and another knock as Bartonologist says, you know what, Legion, go ahead and rest up. You're a bit sweaty there, bud. I'll take it from here.
Yeah, what a play from Bartonologist. It looks like he's still receiving some shots at his builds and just trying to stay up. That shotty is looking ever so trusty as it looks like he does get the full takedown on an entire squad. You see Legion getting hyped there on his camera, just trying to give some support to his teammate. He just put him in the backpack, and Legion will happily sit inside of that little pocket area. But it looks like 30 players left alive. And on the other side, at least as far as this game is considered, Unicorn going to be on our screens. Not as much action here in Shifty Shafts. They did have a few initial gunfights off the break, but they haven't had a knockdown happen as of yet. And if you look right in the top left corner, there was quite a bit of damage done. As just now, of course, Bartonologist and LEGIQN, aka Legion, do grab some much needed shields. Definitely looking a little bit better when it comes into Punisher and Unicorn.
Love the fact that you called him LEGIQN. I've actually never heard it be said.
Never heard him called that?
I've never heard him called LEGIQN.
Oh, Jordan LEGIQN Legion. That's actually his intern middle name.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I like that. LEGIQN, huh? All right,
look at these guys. Okay. Is this an elevator?
These guys mean serious business, but of course it's only supported by one, and that's an easy elimination for Unicorn. That's going to bring it up to 4.
That's the Tower of Terror.
Hey, look, and by the way, you've been on the Tower of Terror?
Oh, millions of
You know what it does to me?
What's that?
Makes me feel terror. I don't know if you saw that coming.
I guess it's doing what it's supposed to do.
It was kind of a dad joke. Not even a dad, but I'm already there. I'll be
You're
a proud father.
Papa, right?
I am Poppy.
Oh, God.
4
Full Poppy mode, as we learned last night's broadcast.
Optic Hitch. Shout out to him, of course. 4 eliminations in the hands of Unicorn.
Speaking
Punisher.
of Hitch, he's going to be rooting on his teammates probably here, right? He's got the full squadron in this tournament.
Optic squad is moving forward.
Shout out to those guys. I love seeing, of course, the esports organizations being represented, of course, here in the Legion Sunday Showdown, of course, powered by Lenovo Legion. But it's been a fun time, at least so far in this tournament. But like I said, man, seeing these pro rosters just really put on a show is always a delightful treat. And, of course, to go along with the many huge organizations that we have, World Best Gaming, showing off their driving skills right now on the ATK.
Rightly so, just kind of covering more ground. Of course, it's all about eliminations when it comes to this tournament, just like Friday Fortnite. You just want as many eliminations as possible, and it seems as though the next victims are up ahead. Unicorn in hot pursuit. Player, though, surprising him from the top of the hill. As you see, you hear the Punisher saying that he is, in fact, going to be going up, using that grapple hook to kind of catapult him up forward. Of course, C4 underway. Unicorn in a bit of a trouble, but quickly regains high ground, and so incredibly important. But as I say, that Punisher does get dropped, not fully thirsted as of yet. The full elim not going underway, drops down. This is some trouble, Landon.
This definitely is. Trying to put up a few of those pyramids just to try to take a little bit of that damage away. Of course, like I said, has that pump shotty in his arsenal. Can he stay up? Getting shot from multiple angles. Huge and much needed builds coming in from Unicorn. As my goodness. Right now at a storm shelter, just trying to stay alive. And you see he's just being very, very careful about trying to take that big pot. Needs to get back a little bit of that healing, and we'll see how he tries to continue on his Punisher so low, and he can't really suffice to allow him to die in this situation.
You know, he's in a really bad predicament at this point, and there it is as he gets taken out fully elim.
Did you see it? Wait, okay, there was another teammate behind that. I thought that guy just turned on him. That's crazy, man.
That was a tough position for him to be in. Obviously, he had the low ground. His partner was already knocked at this point. The players were up ahead, and they knew that the other player was dropped. They knew at this point it's time to attack. You can't regain that high ground. He was already running out of bullets and running out of mats. If he would have got out of that, I would have bowed to him. But in fact, it was an incredibly difficult situation. But now, with that being said, I do believe they were at, I think, 5 eliminations total. So now it's all up to LEGIQN or Legion, as you LEGIQN. And of course, Bartonologist.
Be the Quan.
Which, huge fan of Bartonologist, actually. Great guy, great streamer, really talented player. And I think the personalities between the two of Legion and Bartonologist match quite well. But I don't know if Bartonologist does have a couple of kills. We saw that battle, that epic battle that was over in Retail. Bartonologist is actually sitting at 8 total eliminations at this point. We don't have a stream perspective. But 8 eliminations, all Legion, right. Buddy, you're sitting at 0. I think you're getting carried a little bit.
Taylor, he's a support player.
Okay, we'll be respectful and say he's a support player. How about that?
No nice talk needed. Legion is the best support player in the entire world, all right? Give him the credit he deserves. He's doing his best, all right? He's trying all that he can. And look, he's tossing out the nades. He's destroying those builds. And you hear Bartonologist saying, thank you so much, Legion. I'm glad that you had those nades. And he decided to use them then, and just like that, Barton takes down yet again another opponent, actually with, I believe that was either the hunting rifle or the irregular assault rifle. Couldn't tell which one, but despite that, though, hearing a few of the shots start to echo throughout the battlefield as the Storm. Got to be keeping that in mind. There's a lot of player on the outskirts, and they're playing the gatekeeping role, which is very nice, but also very risky, Taylor.
Absolutely, but making the most of it as Legion gets his first elimination, knowing there's a player up ahead. He's going to go ahead and go into full attack mode. Bartonologist with that high ground looking pretty solid. Of course, Legion knows he needs quite a bit of at least things here. Picks up the thermal, which is one of my favorite weapons to use personally. I know a lot of the pros are kind of against it whenever it comes to it because they don't think it's really worth it overall. If you can pick a sniper over it, it's more useful to have. But for me, I like kind of having that scoping range and just like a laser beam, much like the scope they are, as Tifu like to say, the zoom.
Makes me think of Xenon. Zoom, zoom, zoom.
It's always fun to hear like the different callouts and things that they come out with. But with that being said,
I guess it's a lot easier, right, than saying scoped assault rifle. It's just easier to say zoom, zoom.
I like the fact that they at least won that. Now they got a lot of ground to cover. They got to head towards Tilted, and we'll see if they'll be able to make it through this anti-gravity zone unscathed. I highly doubt anybody's going to be behind them.
By the way, props to them for rocking the team skins in this situation. Both rocking the nice little Ice Dragon Queen, as I'm just going to call it that. I know it's probably not at all called that, but I like that, man. Like some of the skins that we have in Fortnite being introduced as of recent. We talked about the dragon that was just added as a glider. Like, whew, I gotta say, you're looking pretty fly if you're rocking this full setup, and they're at least rocking the team jerseys. But you gotta respect, man. And Legion showing off for the console brethren, saying this is how I do things. This is how we rock. And he's got a full epic lineup in his inventory. He's got the double barrel, like you mentioned, the double assault rifles being the regular SCAR and all, in combination rather with the thermal. As he's gonna go ahead and grab that full pot. And I believe they might be giving out a few call-outs, maybe just trying to get a little bit of an idea as to where the opponents could be, because they have a long way to run.
7 elimination lead for Legion and Bartonologist. If you ask me, would we be in this situation right now? I would say no, but we're here. And Legion always said it. Pick me up on a pro organization. I don't know if we'll get that far at least, but I got to say, thank goodness for Bartonologist, because all of those eliminations, 10 of them at least for the 11 that they have, is Bartonologist in his favor. But will this be the first time we're going to see the bounciness of Loot Lake, the new introduced Kevin? What's all melted in there.
Thank you, Kevin.
Oh, Kevin. I miss Kevin already.
Well, at least he'll always be here. Well, until the next season. We know that Kevin will at least be here until further notice. But what do you think this means, man? Like, with like, what? It takes over Loot Lake? Like, did Kevin just melt? Or, like, what exactly happened?
I think the big thing is the symbols that have been going around. And I
the numbers.
Still, the numbers, Mason. I really don't know what the symbols mean. And I don't think anybody's cracked the code as of yet. Some have kind of contemplated maybe it's underwater temple.
That'd be sick.
Which
that would be amazing.
Which there's kind of a lore behind that. If you guys want to check up on that, read it. I know there's a good Reddit post of someone who kind of did some research on that.
We got some, like, there are some investigators on the Fortnite Reddits who are just diving into codes and just, I don't know how, but they are just coming up with a bunch of different possibilities for what could the future of Fortnite be. And I'm darn excited. I heard about a pirate theme that could be coming, and I immediately got stoked. And so for the rest of the seasons that could ever be announced, I'm hoping that Valhalla turns into a pirate bay. I think that would be fantastic. Just saying. Or like maybe you make a place called like Tortuga or something.
Tortuga.
I would be a huge fan. I would buy every single pirate skin if it was added to the game. I'm saying it right now.
All right, well, you heard it, Epic. You already got some
There's
money
your idea.
In your pocket. There's your idea.
I will not take any money from that.
Shots fired at this 1-by-1 up ahead. Of course, they're in a really good position, especially now that the circle has moved deeper into Pleasant Park. They've got a rift just on the other side of them, so they can kind of hop out. Now, as for the story of Legion and Bartonologist, kind of exposed at this current point, knowing there's a player just in front of them and down below as a player just behind the tree. Legion knows he's got to destroy the tree. I think that player just backed up, though, and is going to kind of build up just a little bit. But that player, of course, has to kind of run to them. So at this point, my efforts would be focused on the 1-by-1 just up ahead.
But you also got to be wary of the storm, too, man. Like, well, that's just toward the very northwest portion of Pleasant Park. They still have a pretty decent jaunt, so they kind of pick their battles and be very careful of the situations at the current time, because they've got at least, what, like 2 squads potentially right in front of them. Nice little bit of 24 damage taken as that player tries to rock the grappler to escape, and it looks like he will for the time. And you can obviously hear the call-outs going through from Legion and Barton, just trying to get a little bit of an idea as to what to do for the future of this game. Because like I said, man, they got an established lead. They're sitting pretty good. They're feeling pretty confident. Ooh. And they have absolutely every reason to do so. A nice shot there coming through from Legion as he is now up to 2 eliminations.
Legion taking out McGregor there, apparently.
Connor. Getting ready for his fight.
That was the username, and it looks like he kind of wanted to threaten to go towards that loot, but I think it'd be more of an educated guess to think they're going for the rift or maybe even trying to get on the flank, but actually it does in fact look like he's going towards the loot. Now, there we go, wisely so backing off of it.
I don't think he even knows what he wants to do.
I think
he's just taking advice from Barton, like whatever you want to do, buddy.
As the wise tale once said, if you don't even know what you're doing, neither does your enemy. So I think that's the kind of the strategy Legion's wanting to go for at this point. But luckily, he's going for Rift, and that's going to give them a huge advantage point, at least, to kind of scan the horizon, see what's over there. And it looks like they're going on the attack. Players just up on top of this hill within the circle. Will Legion finally have the chance to show us what he's got? Bartonologist already getting to work, and Barton actually steals that kill. But like you said, hey, Legion's being that great support role, like what I'm seeing.
Absolutely, buddy. It looks like they're just going to keep adding on to their total. It looks like the guided missile found, and Legion's going to have a lot of fun with that. You see him on his face right now. He is stoked. He's about to try to rocket ride everyone in this lobby, but just trying to gauge exactly where the opponents could be, as they are good to be safe in the zone. And like I said, man, they're kind of cruising at the moment, and they got a pretty good gift when it comes down to this game. Of course, we discuss and bring up, right, Punisher and Unicorn, a slower start to this game. As Legion's got to be careful. The double barrel's pretty powerful. But regardless, man, they're sitting pretty, and as long as they continue on with this, Legion playing support and Bartonologist basically doing everything else, they should be in a pretty good position.
I know you mentioned.
I love this.
I love the confidence with his 2 eliminations as they lead 14-4 currently.
Barton was like, "Bro, your head's still exposed." Legion was like, "All right, I'm going to back up a centimeter and go and dance again."
All right, I think he's kind of threatening that the guided missile, and I'm kind of curious to see how his driving skills are.
Oh,
he's already almost running into the ground there, almost taking himself out. And
oh boy. Is it? I don't think it even makes it there. Like he was. Oh, it's gonna explode just before. Is it gonna get to the builds? I think it might have just dissipated right before it got to the structures, or maybe did a little bit of splash damage to the house. But regardless, though, those 2 very important guided missiles, as Legion will hold on to them and continue to try to take away a few of the builds from the opponents with that scoped assault rifle.
There's 3 guys. Wait, what? Oh yeah.
see how this is going to go, slowly taking it. Of course, smiles all around, though. Of course, you can only expect that when watching Legion. Bartonologist as well, as we finally do have Bartonologist stream up, is look at him just dinging shots at the enemies up ahead with that thermal AR. Like what I'm seeing so far. Just let's see if he'll be able to get that full elimination. Of course, he has been doing absolutely phenomenal this game, going off with all the eliminations.
I would also like to point out as well, it seems as if, I just actually got a notification on my phone, Legion has officially joined E-United.
Are you kidding me?
Yeah, right here. It actually just got announced 3 seconds ago.
Wait.
So props to Legion for joining E-United as a professional Call of Duty. No, I'm kidding. Not as a professional player. However, I guess as a content creator, that's awesome, though. So shout out to Legion. I'm being the first person to congratulate him on this feat. Great to see, and congratulations to LEGIQN for joining the United family.
That's
awesome.
Huge.
Yeah, that's great.
Wow, I'm actually, I'll be honest, I'm actually really, really happy for him. He's a genius whenever it comes to content creation. I know there's a video. I'm going to have to watch it, of course, when we go on a commercial break. I want to see how he's going to get out of this, though. Guided missile with his head exposed. You love to see it. Oh, but this player's jumping straight up into the grill of Legion. But you know what? Bartonologist says, hey, buddy, you can't take out my good friend down there. And he gets the knock plus the full elim to stack up yet another number to their eliminations. I think they're at current of 15 now as they're looking to get the victory royale at this current point. Of course, it's all about eliminations. They're at 16 currently now. You don't get any points for place, and you only get points for eliminations. And mind you, this is only the first round.
Yeah.
And this is a best of 2. And this is a single elimination tournament. So if you're the opposite team, a Punisher and Unicorn, you're a little bit worried at this point and thinking, not like this.
Yeah.
Not like this.
And, you know, Legion's going to hold them to that for a very long time, saying he took down professional Fortnite players. That would be a very fun thing to see. But take a look at this. A fantastic zone for Legion as well, as, of course, it starts to move soon. He's just calling out Barton. You know what, man? You just do what you need to. I'm just going to sit back here and take a few pop shots. Nearly hits the player across the head as the sniper bullet whistles past the ear. But my goodness, of course, like we mentioned, has the epic bolt and is looking for a vantage point. Not seeing anyone for the time, but they actually could have a full-on squad left, right? Because they're in a 2 versus 3. Yep. This is either another duo and a single, or this could be an entire trio team.
With the way that they're playing, I don't see any reason why they don't take this victory. Of course, getting another snipe out there, but not able to connect. That's on Legion's screen. Thermal scope out for Barton as he's trying to just scope out what the player's going to be up to. But look at that circle collapse. It's right on them. And they, in fact, are going to have all the opponents coming to them. And you heard Legion kind of scream out a little bit. Legion Queens. What a name. What a name. I like it. Legion, that fits his style. EU, you picked up a great one. Love it. And Legion actually in our chat, as he says, I'm so glad to get carried.
Is he literally taking time from playing and then just responding into our chat? That is the social
genius of Legion.
Exactly, man. Exactly. But my goodness, we're going to take a look at it. Exactly what he can do. Don't tell me he's about to hit that. Oh my gosh. Did that? Okay, I was going to say he used a bouncer trap. I was like, wait a second. That's a very confident move by that guy. But of course, Bartonologist with his 89th elimination of the game, and Legion just fire a few bullets into the chest. But it looks like someone actually might be going for the rush. The double barrel in his back pocket. We'll see how well he can actually rock this to builds. Starting to take him down. Can Legion stay up? But no. Oh, good effort. Great effort coming in from E-United's own Mr. Legion, but ends up getting taken down. Phenomenal performance, but what? Barton finishes off with 16?
16.
18 combined. They're going to have, what, they're going to have a very
14?
solid lead. Yeah, a
14 total elimination lead. It's gonna be difficult for Punisher and Unicorn to come back. But with a name like Unicorn, I think anything's possible at this point, right? I mean, but if he does make the comeback, I can say that's a unicorn in the room. I don't know how many unicorn jokes I can kind of make. It's kind of really, I'm going to stop. I want to stop
Keep
right
coming.
there. No, absolutely not. But really, guys, I appreciate you guys for stopping by. You guys are wonderful. Of course, we're going to have all-night action, single elimination tournament, and we're just getting started. In fact, that was only game number 1. Game number 2 underway.
True, huh?
14 elimination lead going into it. Of course, we've always talked during Friday Fortnite. Where's the landing spots going to be? It's all about elimination.
That's a great question.
Hot drops need to happen, and they need to happen now for Punisher and Unicorn.
Obviously, you play Fortnite all the time. Like
you're
playing
with my buddies.
It's basically your full-time job.
Oh man,
me, for the most part, right? 9 hours
Jay,
a day, 40 hours a week.
Jay, Toki, all of them. We're tearing up the competition out there.
Is that right? Well,
absolutely.
Talk to me. If you were in the position right now, of course, of Punisher and Unicorn right now.
Yep.
What do you think the drop should be? Do you think you split push? Do you think you maybe go toward tilted? Is there maybe like a certain landing location they should be going for right now?
I'm curious to see where we'll see what the trajectory is, and we'll discuss that a little bit further, right? Because I'm kind of curious, and actually, I'm going to look at my screen over here to the left as kind of just trying to see. It looks like it's going to be just over Racetrack, going through Tomato Temple Retail as well as Lazy. So Paradise could be a good drop. Of course, you have those rifts, and the reason why I like that, right?
That's very true.
You drop Paradise, you get your eliminations there, you take those rifts, and then you can kind of keep pushing forward.
And that's where the start of the bus goes too.
And that's where the start of the bus.
Guys drop there.
Exactly.
Wow. Yeah.
Racetrack's going to have a lot of people there. I think Paradise is going to be a little bit more. Of course, you do have Lazy. That's going to be towards the end of it, but I wouldn't suggest going there because, of course, the large amount of people is going to be at the beginning. Obviously, though, on the opposite end of the spectrum, whenever you have hot drops, obviously it adds for a lot of danger. So, of course, we will see a drop from Legion as he looks like he. Of course, we're going to get the game on screen relatively soon. He's going to be going over to Fatal Field, and of course, that's good. You know, it's not too bad. It's going to be pretty calm there for the most part, but you also have the trajectory if you want to kind of angle it out to catch those people coming off from the desert area. But the story now is going to be on Punisher and Unicorn. Will they be able to at least close this 14 elimination deficit? Close it out. They look like they're going retail. Not a bad drop either.
Yeah, this is. I guess you see the next best location, at least, and depending on where the bus goes, depending on where you see the most players starting to try to go toward. But it looks like Punisher going to be on our screens for the most part, right? To be targeting his perspective because his team is currently down. They're going to need some heck of a performance to bring this one back. Bartonologist exploded in that last game, and like I said, we're going to see what they can try to do to bring this one back. Funny enough, it looks like Unicorn already taken down, and a big moment for Punisher needs to land the shots. Oh my gosh, takes down the Galaxy. And it looks like he is going to have a shield to rock, but my goodness, man, already down to 10 HP, 50 shields, and he needs it. If Unicorn dies, if he were to get fully eliminated, that you could argue that's the game. Like this could be the game. He needs to stay alive, and he also needs to go for the res. A lot of tasks here for Punisher, but he is used to these very high-pressure situations. We'll see how he can try to respond here, as it looks like he does respond with a few shots to the chest, trying to take down this squad who happens to be right in front of him.
You know, the player that he's going against with the LMG, of course, the LMG is so powerful, especially after the updates, and there it is, shots the reload, and he goes down, and the scream comes into effect at an instant, leaving the lobby. I don't blame him, and something I never thought would happen. Legion is moving forward in this tournament. Of course, Bartonologist, shout out to you, but Legion, I'm so happy for you, man. You got.
I like how
I don't even think he broke a sweat.
We're giving Legion all the credit, and Barton just casually destroyed everybody in the last game.
Oh my!
And I imagine Legion just like sitting in the back, like I don't know, like a little schoolgirl,
so
just delighted that he